إن هذا القرآن يقص على بني إسرائيل أكثر الذي هم فيه يختلفون وإنه لهدى ورحمة للمؤمنين وإنه لهدى ورحمة للمؤمنين إن ربك يقضي بينهم بحكمه وهو العزيز العليم وهو العزيز العليم فتوكل على الله إنك على الحق المبين إنك لا تسمع الموتى ولا تسمع الصم الدعاء إذا ولوا مدبرين وما أنت بهادي العمي عن ضلالتهم إن تسمع إلا من يؤمن بآياتنا فهم مسلمون وإذا وقع القول عليهم أخرجنا لهم دابة من الأرض تكلمهم أن الناس كانوا بآياتنا لا يوقنون ويوم نحشر من كل أمة فوجا ممن يكذب بآياتنا فهم يوزعون حتى إذا جاءوا قال أكذبتم بآياتي ولم علما أما هم تعملون ووقع القول عليهم بما ظلموا لا ينطقون ووقع القول عليهم بما ظلموا فهم لا ينطقون ألم يروا أنا جعلنا الليل ليسكنوا فيه والنهار مبصرا إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يؤمنون ويوم ينفخ في الصور ففزع من في السماوات ومن في الأرض إلا من شاء الله وكل أتوه داخرين وترى الجبال تحسبها جامدة وهي تمر مر السحاب وترى الجبال تحسبها جامدة وهي تمر مر السحاب صنع الله الذي أتقن كل شيء إنه خبير بما تفعلون. من جاء بالحسنة فله خير منها وهم من فزع يومئذ آمنون ومن جاء بالسيئة فكبت وجوههم في النار هل تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون إنما أمرت أن أعبد رب هذه البلدة الذي حرمها وله كل شيء وأمرت أن أكون من المسلمين وأن أتلو القرآن فمن اهتدى فإنما يهتدي لنفسه ومن ضل فقل إنما أنا من المنذرين وقل الحمد لله سيريكم آياته فتعرفونها وما ربك بغافل عما تعملون صدق الله العلي العظيم. إلى أرواح أمواتكم وأمواتنا وأموات المؤمنين والمؤمنات وإلى روح المرحوم الشيخ محمد جواد الشري نهدي ثواب ما قرأنا ونهدي ثواب سورة المباركة الفاتحة بعد الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. جمعة مباركة إن شاء الله عليكم جميعا. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن عليًا ولي الله. أشهد أن عليًا حجة الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. حي على خير العمل. حي على خير العمل. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وسلم.
صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. الثانية بأعلى أصواتكم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الواصل الحمد بالنعم والنعم بالشكر. نحمده على آلائه كما نحمده على بلائه، ونستعينه على هذا النفوس البطاء عما أمرت به السراء إلى ما نهيت عنه. ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين، حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد، وعلى آله الطاهرين وصحبه المنتجبين. Praise be to Allah, whose praise is rewarded by bounty, and bounties with gratefulness. We seek His assistance against those hearts which are slow to obey the command of Allah and yet quick towards what they have been desisted from. We convey our greeting and salutation to the Holy Prophet of Islam and his pure progenies. Mulana al-Jalil, sisters and brothers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. قال الله العظيم في محكم كتابه أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هل تربصون بنا إلا إحدى الحسنيين ونحن نتربص بكم أب من عنده أو بأيدينا فتربصوا إنا معكم متربصون. Say what you are expecting from us is nothing more than two equally good alternatives: martyrdom or victory. And yet, for you lies two punishing alternatives: defeat at our hand or punishment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I start with the reminder first. Let's start by the first one that every week that is my turn, I ask only to see within the prayer or the sermon, please turn off your phone. Your cell phones have to be turned off. And refrain from conversation, greeting, or anything else during the sermon. Could I ask the brothers not to intrude into the sisters' area and come forward? There's plenty of space in the front. You can come forward and rather than sit in the area where the sisters are sitting. They don't feel comfortable, and during the prayer, if they start their prayer, your prayer is batal. So please move forward. I had intended up to last night to talk about Sayyida Zainab sallallahu alayha in the light of the fact that 2 days ago was the anniversary of her birth. But the cowardly act and the heinous act of assassinating General Qasem Soleimani changed the plan. And I would be doing a disservice if I did not address that issue first and somehow link it to Zainab sallallahu alayha. But before I do that, as I look across to my left and look at the chairs, there is a chair that used to be occupied by Haj Hussein Maqlad, and it's empty. Please join me in reciting Surah Al-Fatiha for his soul and the soul of marhum General Soleimani and Abu Mahdi al-Muhandis that were assassinated together. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Who was this general that his presence brought hope to the marginalized and those who were afraid, and brought hatred and fear to the enemies of Islam, particularly United States? Qasem Soleimani was born in 1956 in a small village outside Kerman, which is a city out in the southern part of Iran, to a parents and a family that they were farmers primarily. Around his teenager, he decided to leave school and support his family by becoming a builder. So he worked within the building industry for a while. With the advent of Iraq-Iran war in 1980, he joined a battalion from Kerman to go to war against Iraq and defend the country. After 8 years of being in the war and leading his battalion, he went back from the front line to Kerman. But because of his expertise, the government decided to ask him and his battalion to stay in Kerman and fight the lawlessness that the warlords and the drug dealers were creating around the city. He was successful in chasing them, and ultimately was asked to go to the Afghan and Pakistani border to chase into Iran. He became successful again in that area, and he was shifted towards the west, the Iraqi border, because it was becoming out of control, and drug and everything else was coming into the country. And with the advent of the occupation of Iraq in 2003 and occupation of Afghanistan and the Daesh, as well as the Taliban, he was asked to go and defend Iran against these lawless terrorist organizations that were coming into Iran. After that, he was everywhere. Whether it was the fight with Daesh, that his leadership created hope, whether it was the fight in 2006 with the Sahayana and Israelis attack against Lebanon. Those of you who have seen Al-Mayadeen program clearly states his role with Marhum Mughniya, Ahmad Mughniya, and Samahat al-Sayyid in defending Lebanon against the Israelis and the Zionist incursion. And after that, when the Syrian crisis started, he was again part and parcel of the defense. He was instrumental in keeping the government in Syria intact against all attempt and billions of dollars that were spent in arm and guidance that were given by United States, Zionists, and everybody else, that they tried to destabilize and turn Iraq into Syria into a dysfunctional state. Particularly his importance was felt in the war in 2014 and 2015 against Daesh in Iraq, in Mosul, where Daesh became an extended arm of American foreign policy to destabilize the region and to fracture Iraq. And he, with a team of his own advisors and supporters, worked with the Hashd al-Sha'bi to defend Iraq against Daesh and everything else, and they succeeded. United States, unfortunately, with the Western powers, have had always this hatred towards those who somehow destabilize and become the number one enemy. If you look at last night's, I was staying till late to sift through various reports from different countries. The three countries that primarily were celebrating his absence: United States, the Israeli government, and the government of the Saudi Arabia, or what I call the Arabian Peninsula. These are the three that celebrated his absence and his martyrdom. This morning, CNN Turk in Istanbul used the phrase, and he said, the safety pin of the grenade of Middle East has been pulled out. Only God knows what is going to happen next. But let me remind the occupier, the American or the Europeans, the one who laughs last laughs most. Happen. Found a replacement for Abu Mahdi al-Muhandis. The Quds has already found a replacement for General Qasem Soleimani. The leadership in Iran is going to continue with the fight. And when I was listening to the narratives last night, it reminded me of Nahj al-Balagha when an Amir al-Mu'mineen the news were brought to him of the assassination of Malik Ashtar and how he mourned his loss. We see the same thing in Iran, the leadership about the assassination of General Soleimani. The free spirit spirited around the world are sending, it's gone viral, the comments that they are making. How they sympathize and offer condolence to the families, to the Iranians and everybody else, Hashd al-Sha'bi, about this assassination, and it should not be left unanswered. What is going to happen? This is something that only time would tell. This is a brief kind of bio. I don't want to go into Abu al-Mahdi al-Muhandis, because then we have to spend some time on it. But when you listen to the count to destroy and everything else, it reminded me of a story of confrontation, since this is the occasion for Zainab Salamullah alayha, confrontation between Zainab and Ibn Ziyad in Kufa. When they were brought as prisoners of war to Kufa and brought before Ibn Ziyad, he began sending manna, saying that how happy we are that we killed and we destroyed the family, etc., etc. The response came, هؤلاء قوم كتب الله عليهم القتل فبرزوا إلى مضاجعهم. These were a group of people that Allah commanded them to rise in defense of justice against injustice, and they rose to the occasion. And they now rest in peace. Ultimately, on the day of judgment, you have to stand before the Almighty Allah and give your answers. أبالموت تهددنا يا ابن الطلقاء إن الموت لنا عادة وكرامتنا من الله الشهادة. Are you threatening us with death, O son of a lonely, loose woman? Dying is inevitable, and martyrdom is an honor and a privilege. These people are not afraid of death. For them, martyrdom is a lofty idea that they chase it. Just listen to his wife. Comment that she made this morning. She borrowed the phrase from Zainab Salamullah alayha and said, Allahumma taqabbal minna hadha al-Qur'an. This meager offering accepted from us. But blessed your soul. You were chasing the death and shahada in the mountains and in the valleys and plains. Look ultimately where it came to you, in the middle of Baghdad. Remember me on the day of judgment. These people are not afraid of death. The panic is on the other side. Immediately we have to send Hercules aeroplanes and so on to evacuate everything. Shut down the embassy, give a warning here, warning there, let all the citizens to get out. أبالموت تهددنا يا ابن الطلقاء إن الموت لنا عادة وكرامتنا من الله الشهادة. The verse in the Holy Quran that I started with, he said, the verse is clear. قُلْ هَلْ تَرَبَّصُونَ مِنَّا إِلَّا إِحْدَى الْحُسْنَيَيْنِ. There are two good alternatives for us and two equally bad and cursed alternatives for you. For us, either martyrdom or victory. For you, punishment from Allah or defeat in our own hand. We will فتربصوا إنا معكم متربصون. Let's wait and see what happens next. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والإكرام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله الطاهرين وصحبه المنتجبين. أخواتي وإخواني الأعزاء، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. عباد الله، أوصيكم وإياي بتقوى الله وعلم وتقوى وجهاد، حيث شكلت الامتداد الطبيعي والرسالي لأمها الزهراء سلام الله عليها في صبرها وجهادها وتقواها، بما جعلها مدرسة للأجيال في سيرتها التي لم تكن إلا تضحية وفداء للإسلام المحمدي الأصيل، ولتأكيد الحق وشريعته، والوقوف بكل ما أمكنها من قوة في الخندق المواجه للباطل والظلم والانحراف، مهما اشتدت الضغوطات والتحديات، وأن تقاعس أهل الحق عن نصرته